G'day everyone, it's Jackson. Welcome back to another Daily Endeavour set. It's the 8th of January. As always, there'll be timecodes below if you'd like to jump ahead. There's going to be a couple of extra things today to talk about first before I get into Endeavours. So yeah, if you just want to skip that stuff, if you already have seen it, yeah, just skip ahead. Yeah, it's quite an interesting thing that's just come up. So there was a live stream the last couple of days. I don't know when it was, but they basically announced what is coming for ESO in the near future, and there was some interesting shit. So the main thing I wanted to cover first was that, as far as I've read or listened to, the daily endeavors and the weekly endeavors, but there's going to be weekly challenges, so that's not exactly going, but daily rewards and daily endeavors are not, they're getting removed. So yeah, just let me show you this. So this is this is SkinnyCheeks' video that explains like everything we know so far as regards to the like changes coming in 2026. And there's just one little bit I wanted you to listen to that was quite important.
Also wanting to move away from multiple to-do lists, so they will be eliminating the daily login and daily/weekly endeavors and moving those rewards as items to select from in the new Tamriel tome system. The challenges here will all be weekly and seasonal, not daily, so no need to log in every day anymore to get all the rewards. And
so nothing daily anymore. That's the main thing to get out of that. So yeah, they took my job. Nah, it's not a fucking job. I'm not getting paid for it. So, but yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna feel kind of lost. I'll keep doing weekly stuff, but that's the thing. It's also that you don't have to. You're not forced into like the options that you've got. You can change them out. You can pay gold. I don't know how much gold you're going to pay, but you don't have to do what it says. Like, you can just basically roll the dice and get a different option, and that's probably going to be really good, especially with some like weekly challenges that you get. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know. I guess they forced me to branch out to more content. I was thinking of doing anyway, but yeah. So interesting times ahead, I think. So yeah, I guess I'll talk more if I learn more. It's early days. They could change their mind. We'll see. Now, as far as the Battle Pass goes, I advise you watch SkinnyCheeks' video. I'll link that in the description. But yeah, it's basically ESO's getting a fucking Battle Pass. I'm not a big fan of that shit, but yeah, it's coming. It was only a matter of time, I suppose. But yeah, there's 3 versions. There's a free version, which you can get Seals of Endeavor. You get a lot. As far as from where you get 8,000. I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the endeavors that you naturally get each week. I don't know if... I guess that's part of what you're going to get from the Battle Pass stuff. I don't know yet. I'll have to wait and see. But you get 8,000 each Battle Pass, and I think they said it's 3 months at a time. Yeah, you watch the video. Everything you need is in that video. But yeah, things are changing. There is a lot of good shit coming with the quality of life changes. Like, they're making mounts need less time to upgrade fully. They're getting rid of the fucking scammy bullshit like character specific outfit slot stuff. It's becoming account wide, so everyone you buy is on every single character, so you're not spending fucking ridiculous amounts of money on every single character. Some of the DLCs are becoming base game. Austinium, Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood. I hope that they add Imperial Edition as a base game thing. That should have been base game in the beginning. I think that was a fucking scam too. But yeah, I doubt. I don't know. We'll see how we go with that one. But there's also like the Vampirism Crown Store options. They're getting removed too. They again shouldn't be a thing. That's fucking scam bullshit. So yeah. And there's so much other shit. You really need to watch the SkinnyCheeks video. He goes into all the good stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. But it's a kind of weird for me because I'm kind of got to figure out what the fuck I want to do now. Anyway, so the other thing is there is a Gone for Suit, another one. I feel like we just fucking had one, but this one here, it's also got some of it's pretty easy. Now, there's 36 options in total out of 20 you need, and you there are a bunch of PvP options, but if you want to get all 20 options and you get a pretty decent looking bear and you get some Allmaker crates, Allmaker's set is pretty good, like the mounts for this one, and you get some gold too, which is always good. 20 options here, you can do that even touching PvP. You don't have to do that at all. There will just be some options that require a bit of running around. There's also a couple that are DLC related. So there's a trivia match one. I think there's one more that's DLC related. I think there's an antiquity or something. Can't remember. Yeah, there's also one in leveling up. There's also some mount upgrade ones, which is a problem for me because I don't actually have any characters to level up with mounts. But I assume for most people that won't be a problem. So yeah, I will make a video for this as always, but there's just a couple of points I want to go through first. There's a couple of things. The White Strike Mayhem boxes, you can't get them at the moment. The event will be coming up soon, and that's when you get them. I will go through how to get these boxes. There are some ways to really cheese this, and you can get every ticket from White Strikes without even touching PvP, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure. I usually do it. And then there's also the Battleground, win or you lose, doesn't matter. Duels, just find one player and do 10 duels, win or lose, doesn't matter. These ones here, killing players and defeating patrolling horrors, you don't have to kill them yourself. Even if, like, say you light attack a player and they die, usually it counts. So it's pretty easy to do this one. And patrolling horrors, the same thing. Do a bit of damage, another player kills you, they kill the patrolling horror, still counts for you. So it's pretty straightforward to do this one as well. Yeah, this one here is the only really annoying one. This is deal damage. It doesn't say, but it's actually to players. It's the same as the daily one that comes up. Now, this one, it will not take you very long, especially if you use a siege weapon, but it must be to players. You can't attack the guards. You can't attack the Shivering Shrine, Golden Saints. You can't damage walls with a siege weapon. None of that works. It's only to players. That's the only damage that counts. But if you get a siege weapon and shoot it at a bunch of players, it does do a fair bit of damage, and you can get it done quick. But just understand it's hard to deal damage when you're dead. So try doing that first before you try and jump into a bunch of players and attack them. Obviously, if you're a PvPer, you can do that. But yeah, if you don't know how PvP works, probably avoid that option if you can. That being said, I'd skip that one and just go for some of these other options, because some of them are bloody easy. Like, for example, player homes, furnishings, just get the free house, you know how I always do, and just place the furnishing on the floor a bunch of times and then leave and come back a bunch of times. Ultimates, you can just bloody block cancel them to do them over and over. Yeah, event tickets, that's a PvP option, but that one's pretty straightforward as well. Yeah, trial, just find one in the group finder. Incursions and treasure chests you can do together by doing dolmens, because each dolmen you complete, which is counted as incursion, it'll give you a chest. So yeah, stuff like that. Scribing skill, pretty easy. Just create a new character, do second arrow scribing, and just scribe the initial skill you get, which is completely free. So yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to jump into endeavors now, but yeah, I implore you to take a look at the changes that are coming, because there's some really good stuff, and some of the changes to the animations for the Dragonite ability, some of them are being shown on that video, and some of the other ones, like Hyperiox's is also, sorry, did I say that name wrong? Hyperiox's, his video also shows that stuff. It's very like basic information about it so far, because they haven't really gone to any of the proper numbers, but yeah, definitely check it out anyway. Alright, let's jump to endeavors now. Alright, so I would choose here, selling items. Iron Atronachs isn't too bad. 10 skills, active skill styles is good. Catching fish is also pretty easy. Now, capturing a keep, this is potentially as quick as catching fish or something like that. But the problem is, these ones here you can do just fine alone. This one here, you can capture a keep on your own, but it is fucking hard work. And if you want to capture one quick, you need to amass like a whole armada of players. And in that case, that could potentially take a long time. So, in my opinion, don't do this one. But I'll still just clarify like the most important shit to think about here. Because, yes, it can be quick, but in like 99% of circumstances, you're just going to be better off doing these. Iron Atronachs, I would only really do this one too if you have the High Isle DLC. Apart from that, I probably wouldn't bother. Just because High Isle has access to 2 places which give you a lot of them. Well, there's a public dungeon and also volcanic vents have lots of them. But yeah, you also do have the Vardenfell public dungeon, but it is shit in my opinion. There's only like 4, and they will constantly be killed by other players, so you'd have to wait for them to respawn. It's a pain in the ass. Anyway, so I'll just start with selling items to merchants. Really bloody easy, this one, because you can use the sell buyback strat to never use any items, really. Like, you can just sell an item and get it back for no cost. So just find any merchant in the game that seats them. A good example of one that's easy to find is just over here, just next to the marketing thing here. You've got this race shine automatically as soon as you start the game, so it's easy to get over here. But yeah, any merchant in the game, doesn't matter which one. It could be carpenter, it could be a general merchant, it could be anything. So all you need to do is I'll go miscellaneous. Lockpicks, soul gems, they're going to be the things you tend to have lots of. So all I would do is just sell this and then go to buyback and just buy it back. It doesn't cost you any extra to do this. You don't get any gold, but it's just a way to do this endeavor for free, essentially. And yeah, if you don't have you only need an item with 15, and even then, like, even if you got something like just a couple, like, you always start with, I believe it's either 5 lockpicks or soul gems, so just sell that, buy it back, sell it, so yeah, pretty easy. Merchants. One thing that I honestly have to admit does affect me from time to time. There is a merchant, so say you are on a stage 4 vampire. If you try and talk to general merchants as a stage 4 vampire, they won't want anything to do with you. But Eshava over here will actually talk to you even if you're a stage 4 vampire. So she can also be found in Oridon, just at the bottom left corner of Guard's Forge over here. There are more, but that's one that's basic and that's easy to reach. So yeah, if you're a stage 4 vampire and you want someone to talk to, that's an easy one. You can also obviously just use the hypnotize skill, but if you don't have that yet, that's the way to do it. Alright, it's time to look at skill styles now. So this is basically just skills with a different color that you can enable in settings, or your skill lines. So what you're looking for is this icon here. This indicates that the skill has a skill style available, though a lot of them will be locked. Most of the time when you start the game, mostly just be locked. Now there are 2 really easy ones to get that I'll go through that you want to prioritize first before you look at anything else. Soul Magic, Soul Trap, Orchid Purple. You get this from completing the second era of scribing. This is the first quest in the scribing quest line. Very easy to do, takes like 5 minutes. You fight like a couple of Atronachs at, like, you can skip the main like tier 1 boss. You can just walk past them. And yeah, there's probably like a few Atronach things that you fight, and that's kind of it. And it's fuck all time taken. So to find this quest first, if you've never done it before, this location in Deshaan is the one I usually go to. There are a couple of other places though, like for example the capitals near the Mages Guilds. They'll all have the same thing. You can also find them over here near this wayshrine. But if you haven't been to any of these locations, you can either use Westfield in Skingrad if you have the Gold Road DLC, Mages Guild over here. He's usually found out the front. It's like a Breton dude, like a big dude. Otherwise, though, I usually just come here for this one. This is the base game area to get there for the first time. So yeah, just getting there, you go to an instance area, complete that first quest, and you've got the Soul Trap Orchid Purple skill. Now, if you go further and end up completing the rest of the scribing quest line, you'll end up completing the Wing of the Netch. This gives you Soothing Blue Vigor. This can be activated anywhere. I believe also fighter skill Trap. Yeah, so you get Trap with Wing of the Dragon too, which can be casted anywhere. So either of these are good options. The only thing is Barb Trap's a lot more annoying to get if you have a new character. But yeah, Vigor is like unlocked basically at default as soon as you start Alliance War stuff. So yeah, Soothing Blue here. All you got to do is just click it. This little flag icon, paintbrush icon will show up, and all you do now is just cast the skill. And there you go. That's literally it. So as soon as you unlock these skill styles, they will be available on every single character. So I could go to any character now and get Soothing Blue on those characters. So it's really easy to use. Now, if you need a target in the case of Soul Trap, don't worry. That's also really easy to get, because either you can use target dummies in guild halls, or once you complete the second era of scribing, when you leave and come back in the Scholarium, using the Way Shrine, you will be able to use a training room over here. This area has 3 training dummies in the room, and you can attack these guys with Soul Trap. I'll show you. So I think I've had issues where I can't access it at first when I go in, just after completing second area of scribing, but I find as soon as I leave and come back, and it resets the whole area, you can then access the room and then just use Soul Trap as intended. So I'll just chuck this on. Yeah, this room over here. So it's a training room. So as soon as you get in, there'll be one right here. You just hit them a bunch of times, and that's it. Easy done. Now, there's one more thing I want to talk about with regards to skill styles. If you want, in my personal opinion, the best targeted one, and the best overall for when it comes up as a weekly or a sometimes as a golden pursuit, because especially now that dailies won't be a thing anymore, it'll be mostly like longer tier ones that take more effort. Destruction Staff, Elemental Drain. One of these you can get from completing the Gold Road main questline. Oh yeah, Naj Kaldish is another one. Now Vanquisher, I believe, is just normal Naj Kaldish. So if you've got the Season Pass, you should have Naj Kaldish. If you have... oh sorry, Naj Kaldish, is that the dungeon or is that the public dungeon? Yeah, it's a dungeon. Okay, cool. Yeah, the group dungeon. So yeah, either of those here. The reason I suggest these is they don't cost you any resources. So you can cast this as many times as you want. The only thing that's going to slow you down is the global cooldown. So basically, you do like 50 skill style like casts with this in 50 seconds. So under a minute, you could do an entire weekly basically. So yeah, try and do this just once so you can get access to these, because these are, in my opinion, the most valuable skill styles in the game for doing the endeavors. But yeah, if you just want to do the daily ones or just not worry too much about it, just get Soul Trap or Vigor, that's fine. Just probably use which skill works best with your build. So if you're a Magicka build like this, for example, I'd probably want to use Soul Trap. Because yeah, you're it's not really a good example over here, but usually your Magicka recovery is a bit higher if your max stat is higher. Not always, though. Alright, moving on. Yeah, while you're now that you've got your skill styles sorted, just make sure you keep casting that while you're doing other stuff if you haven't done it yet. So for example, if I'm going out doing the fishing one like I'm about to right now, I just keep casting Vigor while I'm doing it. So yeah, now we'll move on to fishing. This one is literally one of the easiest endeavors in the game. It just will take a bit longer than some of the other ones, that's all. So you just need to get some fishing bait and you need to catch some fish. There's like no... The fishing itself is like so easy. It's just a little time consuming. So getting access to some bait, it's pretty easy. The way I like to do it is I like to use insect parts, and I use a river fishing area in Stonefalls. So insect parts are the best because there are torch bugs here that you can just grab like this, and each one gives you between 1 and 2 bait. And so you can easily just start gathering up a bunch of fishing bait this way. The other good thing about this is sometimes when you do this, you will get a torchbug thorax like that. Torchbug thoraxes are fucking ridiculously expensive. Look at that, 530 gold a piece. What the fuck is going on? So yeah, just keep doing that. Just keep collecting all the torchbug parts, and you'll just get insect parts. All you need is, I would go like maybe 10 or 15. You need to go a bit more because sometimes you'll get things that aren't fish technically for the endeavor's sake. Like if you get gunny sacks, or if you get like the actual, there's a furnishing of a fish you can get that comes up from time to time, and for some reason that doesn't count as a fish. But yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so but that's the only thing. Just get some fishing bait and you're basically ready to start fishing. So this is Bleakrock Isle. This is Skyshow Bow, the eastern side. Bleakrock is a bit of a... It just takes like a little bit of running to get to. So you'll start with the Wayshrine in Devon's Watch. So just travel here in Stonefalls. And then from here, just go northeast up here to Lysel at the docks here, the boatswain. She will take you to Bleakrock Isle. You can also get here from Balfoyen. You can travel there by on foot as well. Yeah, once you get here, just travel from the docks over here up to this area here. Now, basically all the trees around the outsides and around the actual ruins themselves, they will have torchbugs everywhere. I think this is probably the most torchbug dense area in the game, maybe. Not 100% sure on that, but it does feel ridiculous over here. Also, it's even better because if you complete the quest for Skyshard Barrier, which only takes like 5 minutes really, the skeletons will become docile. So you can just walk past them, they don't give a shit. Obviously you can attack them and they become hostile, but yeah, you don't need to fight them at all. They will be hostile when you get here for the first time though, which is annoying. So yeah, just collect some insect parts. There are some butterflies too occasionally, and you can grab them too. It's just prioritize torchbugs because the torchbug thoraxes sell for just absurd amounts of gold. Like the butterfly wings aren't that bad. Alright, so now we are off to go find a river fishing hole. Now my personal choice here is the river just in the central section of Stonefalls. This is also really easy to reach because there's a wayshrine right here, and if you haven't unlocked the wayshrine, use home tours. There's a video in the description if you need to use home tours. It's basically just like having a bunch of wayshrines unlocked by default that don't cost you anything. Yeah, it's just found in the menu here. Yeah, that video explains everything you need to know about it, basically. So yeah, just use that, travel over here, and go south to Brothers of Strife Wayshrine, and you're ready to go. There are also torchbugs here. There's a few, though. There's like 3 or 4. So yeah, it won't be enough to do a full run, but it'll stock you up if you end up not getting enough, and you need like 1 more. So there's a torchbug there, for example. I'll just go collect that. Okay, so when you're looking for fish, just look for these little splashing effects in the water. That is a fishing hole. They spawn in certain locations, but it's random which one it chooses. The only one I want to talk about specifically, or differently, is the one that spawns here, basically right next to the shulk here. There is a fowl fishing hole. Every other fishing hole in this river is a river fishing hole. The difference is if you use a fowl fishing hole with the river bait, it'll give you less chance of actually getting a fish, which is painful. So in that case, it uses 2 different bait types. Now the good thing is the bait types tell you which thing they work for. So if you have crawlers, which is pretty frequent to get from plant-based nodes, which you probably have gotten from a couple of things, especially if you've done the weekly, yeah, you'll be able to use these too, and they count as foul bait. So it's just, instead of this, you'd use that for just that river hole. Oh, sorry, that foul hole. Yeah, as an example, I'll just go use this one. So all you do is, I know it's grayed out here, all you do is hold the E key to bring up the fishing wheel. Just go insect parts over here, but yeah, you can see all the different versions. So insect parts, now you press E again, and your character will start fishing. And now all we do is basically wait for the character to do a different animation than this. As soon as they bring the fishing rod up, all you have to do is just press the E key again. And that's kind of fishing in a nutshell. There's really not much else to it than that, other than just pray to the RNG gods briefly, maybe to make sure you get a fish. So there's an example. So we've got fish row, which is foul bait, so you could use it on the other hole there. But yeah, you won't always get a fish. But yeah, all you have to do is just keep pressing E, and reel in when the fishing rod moves, and yeah, just repeat that until you catch a fish 8 times. So yeah, there's one, River Betty, and yeah, just press E again, start it up. And that's all there is to it. So there are a couple of things you could do, there's a couple of things that can affect it. If you fish in the same hole that somebody else is fishing in, apparently the rate at which you catch fish is higher. So it is beneficial to do that, but it's not a big deal. So there's the fucking furnishing. So this is apparently not technically a fish, even though it's a fish. It's very weird, but yeah. Welcome to Elder Scrolls Online. There's an add-on that you can get. I can't remember the name of it, but what it does is it gives you it adds a sound when you're able to actually reel the fish in. So if you're watching YouTube or something in the background, and it kind of makes sure you're aware that you can actually do it. Because otherwise, if you wait too long, like this, for example, it'll just, you won't catch a fish. I think you also lose the bait. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, you just waste your time if you do that. So just yeah, just be aware. You do have to press E in a certain time. But yeah, that's it. There's no other like crazy hidden mechanics aside from that. Just get fishing bait, press E, repeat. So if the fishing hole runs out, there will be basically, there's always fishing holes here. I've been doing this for like years, and I don't think I've ever found a time where fishing holes haven't been here. But yeah, you basically start from this side. Also, probably look for alchemy reagents if you haven't done the weekly yet, or thesaurus. I don't think there's any thesaurus nearby though. Oh, actually, there's one over here. So yeah, just keep going up the river here. Just keep looking for fishing holes. Go all the way to the waterfall. There's one over here. But if you want to get up there, which has more fishing holes, you just have to come up this way. Just, yeah, just over here. Just go around the way shrine up here. Up this section here. And yeah, just go back to the river over here. Just be careful not to fall down there. I do it all the time. So yeah, another one there. Another one over here. Just be careful of the scamps too. I think the last one is over here. I think there's one more over like... Yeah, that one there. I think that's the last one. It's just there. Alright, yeah, that should be enough information for fishing. It's a pretty relaxing one. Just watch YouTube in the background while you do it. Alright, Iron Atronachs. So there's only 2 places I really suggest for this, or 3 actually. There's an extra delve in Greymoor. So this one, I'll go through the base game option, but again, I don't recommend it because there's so few that you can actually get, and everyone just fucking kills them straight away. But yeah, so this is the Forgotten Wastes. It's in the northern side of Vardenfell. Now naturally, the wasteland that you start with in Vardenfell is all the way over the other fucking side of the map. So if you want to get here much faster than just traveling all the way by foot, use home tours and go to Koshelet Sanctuary. Start here and then travel over here, get this way shrine, and you've got access to Forgotten Waste. It saves a lot of footwork or horse work, I guess. So what you do is just head inside. There won't be any at the very beginning. You will have to either ignore, like run past enemies, or if you have a cloak build, you could use that, or a vampirism build to ignore enemies. So, there still won't be any Iron Atronachs here. You'll find hive golems, but they don't count. They're not considered Iron Atronachs. There's another enemy type that is, but they don't count for that, unfortunately. You also find them at volcanic vents, that enemy type too, and they don't actually count. It's fucking annoying. Okay, so the first one is right here. And obviously, yeah, it's already dead because everyone kills it as soon as it spawns. But right here, at this spot where, yeah, fucking everybody's waiting for. So up here is a group event. So this person here, Mountain Caller Hilarion, these 3 bosses, they spawn one at a time. They all spawn Iron Atronachs, and as far as I'm aware, they spawn them an infinite amount of times, just very slowly. The problem is, every fucking other player tends to kill them, so you can't get many Iron Atronachs from them for it to be effective. So if you find a like benevolent group and they know that, it's great. But 9 times out of 10, I just come here and everyone just fucking obliterates it before it does anything. It will spawn 1 maybe, but that's kind of it. So yeah, right here. So when you start, you just come down here. There's this one, and then there's one over here. There's 3 more that you can find, but they're just as fucking outrageous to try and use, I think, as any of the other ones. Because again, everyone just fucking kills them, like, ASAP. What you usually will do here is just wait at one location for them to respawn, and then just kill them again when they show up. They do have a fair amount of health for an enemy that you'd find in a public dungeon, but that's just because they're tier 1 enemies. Yeah, they have just more health in general. But they will die fast, especially if there's like some competitive player with a proper like fucking Arcanist build. They die in 5 seconds. Okay, so here's one here. There's an Iron Atronach. So to be considerate to other players, don't absolutely obliterate them. Just heavy attack them. That's all we need to do. Because, yeah, you don't have to kill them. You just have to have done a bit of damage when they die. So there's another one. I know I use Grim Focus, so I shouldn't have, but... yeah, just trying to prove a point. Yeah, there's one more up further. So there's one more that, like, patrols this section here. I don't know why I'm in combat with someone. Oh, yeah, there they are. So that's another Iron Atronach. Who the fuck is... who's this guy? Why is he in combat with me? Yeah, I'll just hit that once. And that counts as well. So yeah. That's kind of it. As far as I'm aware, that's the only few Iron Atronachs. That's one that's respawned though, so that was good. But yeah, if there's nobody here, you could potentially get this done reasonably quickly. But just expect there to always be people here trying to do the same thing. And yeah, I wasn't able to get to that Iron Atronach quick enough. Yeah, so this is the this section here of the Caverns of Coggerun in Forgotten Wastes. There's also the Sky Shard there that you should grab. I don't remember where the group event is. Oh, I just talked about the group event, idiot. Never mind. Alright, let's look at the next one, which is High Isle. High Isle. Volcanic vents. These are going to spawn a lot of Iron Atronachs. Well, it's random what spawns, but you can get a lot of Iron Atronachs from these sometimes. So these three lava pools here are what give you your Iron Atronachs. Naturally, they just come out like maybe one or two at a time. So there's an Iron Atronach here. Let's kill this one. Just again, just let other people get some participation here. Come on, guys. There you go. So now that the three pools are all closed, the boss will pop up. Sometimes the boss can be an Iron Atronach. Sometimes the boss will spawn other Iron Atronachs. So again, it's going to be random whether you get anything from these. So just yeah. Sometimes it can take you a few goes. Sometimes you'll get it in a single go. It's just yeah, just. And then once it's done, don't forget to loot the volcanic cache. You can get the ring of the Pale Order. No, not Pale Order. Sorry, Oakensoul ring lead from that. Onto the volcanic vents themselves. So there's 7 in High Isle. There's also a bunch in Galen and Ifalon. Is it Ifalon? Yeah, Ifalon. So they just show up as like the incursions icon. I believe these count as the Gone Pursuit option for incursions. They would probably do dolmens anyway, because they give you... oh, do they count as treasure chests? No, they don't, unfortunately. Yeah, you can do both of those with regular dolmens, so just to be fair. So these 7 here, the best way, because they won't do this when you haven't unlocked them, or like gone over them to find all the locations. Only if you've discovered them. So what I would advise you do first, if you want to do this in the long run, is go over to each of them and discover them, and get the way shrines as well, so you can easily get to each of them. It will take some time, and in that case, if you want to do this quickly, you can also use Spire of the Crimson Coin. This will have a specific enemy type that actually counts as Iron Atronachs. So they have there's Soul Razor Knights in this place. The big purple dudes with like inanimate armor, essentially. Those things also count as Iron Atronachs. I've tested it pretty thoroughly. There's I think 6 or 7 in total in the whole place. But yeah, I find they don't take very long to spawn. So yeah, you can use this place. And it's pretty easy to get to because this is the way shrine you start with in High Isle. And so you just come up here, you just go over there. And yeah, just especially the maze, there's like quite a few of them over there around the mage. So just wait for them to respawn there, and that should be pretty good as well. There's also in Western Skyrim, if you have Greymore, Dragonhome. This has approximately, I would say 6 as well. There's like, what is it? Ritual stone grounds, like stone platforms. The enemies there, if you kill them, it spawns Iron Atronachs on those locations after you kill the enemies. So there's naturally spawned ones, and then there's also ones that come down after like killing the enemies. So yeah, Dragonhome is also pretty good. Dragonhome is just a bit of a pain to get to. What I would do is just use the Wayshine here, go over the road just down here. I think you can also skip it through here. Can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, just go over to Giant's Coast Wayshine, over here, and yeah, Dragonhome's right there. Alright, now let's talk about taking a keep. So as I said, this is not one I suggest doing, but if you potentially want to try, because sometimes you can get really lucky, hop on at a time where one faction is just taking over the map. Happens pretty frequently, especially these days. So I'll just run through what to look for, because there's a way to make this a lot easier on yourself. Firstly, I would only do this with a group of other people. Like, don't really do this yourself, because these enemies here, it's basically like going up into a public dungeon and fighting all the enemies with no armor. It's like, it's you can do it, but it's fucking stressful. So yeah, like naturally it is, if you're on your own and there's like shit tons of enemies. So firstly, healers are the most important to target first, because they heal all the other stuff, especially the honor guards. The honor guards should like be the last thing I think that you kill, because they do a lot of damage, but yeah, the healers are the ones that heal everybody up to full. Also, so actually taking a keep, you gotta basically crack the outer shell, the outer door, like the outer wall. You can get in through there. So all the doors and all the like wall sections, like the main wall sections, they have health bars. So this keep wall, for example, it's got 400,000 health. The doors will be the weaker parts, but they're also the easiest to defend for the enemy. So if there are players, consider that this might not be a very good option. But if there's nobody around, just grabbing a battering ram and smashing through the front door is probably the quickest way in into the keep. Same thing with the main door over here. So the idea is get on the outer section, get into the courtyard, fight off all the enemies here. This is a pretty stressful part because there's fucking heaps of enemies right here. And there's also some honor guards at the front. These are like they're the toughest ones. They are painful to deal with, especially when they fucking throw down their they have like a bunch of shit. I think they do rend. I think that's the thing that hits like a truck. Yeah, there's all sorts of annoying shit. So yeah, once you kill these guys, put a battering ram down here and then punch through this. And then your objective to take the keep is to hop on these flags, sit on them for a while after you kill the guards. Again, not an easy feat because there's quite a few of them around here. And again, there's some more honor guards on the keep flags. And then do the same thing over here. This one here is probably the roughest spot because you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then quite possibly the ones over here will be hitting you. Maybe one of the archer guards over here too. But yeah, once you kill the guards here, just hop on the flag. It's just like taking a resource. You just got to sit on it for a while. It takes about 3 minutes to pull. And then you got to do the same thing with the other one. So just capturing the keep when the flags are empty takes like 6 minutes alone, or like 7 minutes. Taking the rest of the keep is going to take a while. So players have a lot of time to stop you. That's the issue. The consequences for this are much worse than the rewards usually, comparing them to the other endeavors here. Now, a few things to help you. Obviously, battering ram. When you get it from this door, when it breaks through this one, pick it up. Don't run it all the way over here because it'll take fucking ages. You can only have one battering ram down at a time. So if you're still bringing it from over there, nobody will be able to put a battering ram over here. You stall. That could give other players time to come and kill you in that point. So pick up the battering ram, run it back over here, or let someone else put a battering ram down here. You'll save a lot of time doing that. Secondly, ballistas, you can stack the shit out of these things in a small area. Let me give you an example here. So I've got one, put another one down here, and then another one down here. So what you can do is you can all aim them at basically the same location. Shoot this one. Oh, missed. Shoot that one. And do the same thing with this one. And while the other ballistas are preparing the next shot, you can shoot them in rapid succession. So you don't just need to grab one siege weapon, you can grab multiple. And you can utilize multiple at the same time. Trebuchets are probably the one you can like max use of, because you could probably go with like maybe 5 or 6 of those. The only problem is that like you probably can't, just because you can't have trebuchets close to each other, like you can with ballistas, it's a significant distance to run between each one. So you're probably stuck with like maybe 3 or 2 of those as well. But you could put some ballistas next to some trebuchets and do it that way too. So yeah, now when it comes to say you, I'll talk about that later. So yeah, battering rams, regular ballistas, and stone trebuchets. They're the ones you want. Regular ballistas, if you're going to use 5-volt ballistas, which are good in Cyrodiil, they're only good for fighting players. Don't use these on bringing down doors, because it'll take ages. Even though they're fire, they do shit all damage to the actual door itself. Regular ballista, battering ram, stone trebuchet, they're the 3. Stone trebuchets, you can get more interesting angles on the door if you use these, but they're a little bit harder to use than ballistas, which are just basically just fire them and I can just run around and do what you want. Now you can also run a battering ram here and then run some ballistas around the edges of the battering ram, and you can use a ballista at the same time while manning a battering ram. The battering rams, you just stand close to them and they deal damage. The ballistas you have to actually manually operate. Now, battering rams can have up to 6 people. The more people there are, the more damage it does to the door. So, the more players on the battering ram, the better. Now, the last thing I think is important to go through is you might get players putting oils on the door here. Because if I go upstairs, let me show you something. Do I have... Oh, I don't know. That's fine. So, there are grates here that you can put oils down on this like line here and dump them down. Same thing with up here. You've got these like little sections here. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what they're called. They got like a certain name that they use to indicate it. It's like overhanging sections that yeah, you can do the same thing. You can dump oils down here. With a group of coordinated players with experience, that amount of oils is too much for like even a decent team to handle. But there are some things you do. Firstly, if you're dealing with a ball group, or like a ball group's pushing through, they probably will just ignore the oils that they're able to. But Siege Shield here reduces the amount of damage that oils do to you. It really, really stops some of these things from absolutely obliterating you. They'll still do a lot of damage. You have to be very careful. But this can really help you. This can also be really good if you get Siege Weapon Shield, because it also reduces the damage that your Siege Weapons take. And battering rams will take damage from oils. So yeah, you just got to be very careful in those situations. Siege Shield might be really handy to have. The Propelling Shield is also good though, but I feel like that's better as a defensive one, because it just allows people on the walls here to just fucking plink arrows away at like from they could be in fucking Black Boot over here, or sorry, Bloodmane over here, and be fucking hitting you from there. It's almost, obviously it's a joke, but that's how far away you can fucking hit people with that one, I feel like. Yeah, other than that, there's not really much else to say. Every keep in this game has a siege vendor, or a siege merchant, I think they're called. Or a quartermaster, I think they're called here. Yeah, this one over here. So these ones, they give you access to the siege weapons for alliance points. So this is where you go to buy your siege weapons, down here. You can also buy things like repair kits, which you can use to repair siege weapons. Mostly use them to repair walls and stuff, but yeah, you can also get some other stuff. You also find these people at the big entrance in the gates, for example. There's one over here, for example, the armsman. Yeah, it usually says siege merchant to let you know. Alright, yeah, that's it. So, if you have any other questions, you know the drill, just give me a holler. Yeah, this set's pretty easy, so I'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for your support as always. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.